Hey everyone, welcome back. New episode. We're actually right in it. We're just right in it right here. It's Thanksgiving. I had this idea floating around in my head for a few days that I wanted to talk about. So we are going to talk about this is episode 6, I think, of Professor Odette the um Professor Odette. We'll be talking about just basic science concepts, principles, mostly like big ideas. I think that if you're not a scientist, you should probably be aware of it. And I've been thinking of just cool episodes over time. And as I come up with a good episode in my brain, I sit down and I have an episode. I record an episode, and I always am healing a key while I'm kind of talking about what I wanted to talk about. And today, as a disc priest in World of Warcraft, let's say today again, I am. Ooh, this is a fun one. Today, we're doing actually a higher key than what I usually do. 19 Grimrail. Some of my add-ons still aren't working because of I haven't updated them. I'm lazy. This is a 19 Grimrail disc priest. Okay, what I wanted to talk about today, though. So I'm a research scientist. I think everyone kind of knows that by now. But so I develop new cancer therapies, and then I test them. Part of testing them is we need to come up with good models that model, human disease. And models aren't perfect. I heard a cool saying. All models are wrong, but some models are useful. So if you sort of live by that principle as a scientist, it kind of explains what models are pretty well and succinctly. So we had to come up with good models to test cancer before we just put our therapy directly into humans. We don't know how safe these things are. We don't even know if these things work. We don't know if these things kill cancer. They do what we think they're going to do. We have to test them. So the first thing we do is we test them in just cells, just cancer cells that we've taken out of real people. I don't do that. You just buy these from there's a company called ATCC. They sell all sorts of different cancer cells, and you can just culture them, grow them forever, and test medications on them just like in a little petri dish. And so obviously that's a very, very simplified model. Where we've taken the cancer cells out of the human and we are testing therapies on them just in a petri dish. Very simplified, but it tells us at a very general level, can our therapy kill the cell? And is it working in the way we think it should work or we think it's supposed to work? Right? Well, the next step after that, let's say, okay, oh wow, these cells are responding very well to this therapy. Okay. Next step then is we need a little bit better model, right? We need, cells in a petri dish don't really. It's a good model to begin with, but we need something a little closer to the actual human being. We need something, maybe an organism now. Instead of the cell level, we need an organism to test them in. And so what a lot of people do then is move into mice. So we need to get some kind of organism to better understand our therapy. And so a lot of people use mice. Some people use fish, zebrafish. But it's just another model. Very rarely do people use like primate models, but people do. They're just more expensive. Anyway, the only reason what we'll be talking about today. So I was having this conversation with my brother, I don't know, a week ago, and it kind of made me think about this topic here. So these things called knockout mice, and it's my university's call to fame. This concept of knockout mice because in the early 2000s, jeez man, I almost died. Guy's gonna die. Oh, he's seated. In the early 2000s, that could have been my fault, I'm not really sure. This is Tyrannical 19 Grimrail, and I'm like half paying attention. We had a professor win the Nobel Prize for what's called knockout mice. Now, what the heck is a knockout mice? These mice, do they come unconscious? Like, are they knocked out? What is a knockout mouse? Right? Well, these knockout mice, he got the Nobel Prize because he figured out a very easy way to knock out any gene that you want in a mouse. Ooh, not paying attention. And that allows us, so that allows us to do a lot of things, but also, for the biggest thing that what it allows us to do is to better model human disease in mice. So we can knock out specific genes that allow us to put all sorts of diseases into the mice that give us good models, good modeling. And I'm bringing this up mostly so we can talk about what a knockout mice is, and then how it's. Oh, dude, I saw it and I still got kicked. Okay. Actually takes. Actually, maybe it's a little too hard of a dungeon to do this series. Taking a lot of my focus because I also have to worry about my mana here a little bit. That guy I think got hit by the avoidable stuff. Never good. Got that battle res. Okay, I think we're in the clear here. I have Rapture up. Not get kicked again, huh? I'm just gonna shove all my damage here because I have Rapture anyway. Yeah. Do you not go up anymore? Okay. So. Knockout mice. Ooh. That's me not paying attention. Just died. These are mice that we can genetically engineer them to not have certain genes. Any gene we want, really. We can take out, we can have the mice not have any gene that we want. Now, some genes are very necessary. You know, the mice, without this gene, the mice will just die. Like, you know, for example, like genes that make heart tissue. You can't just take away organs from the mice. You know, they'll just die. So most genes actually they're called essential genes. They're needed for the mouse to survive. But some genes, the mice can survive fine without. They just maybe have some limitations, perhaps. And it allows us to come up with better models, right? To model human disease, so we can better test our therapies. Getting blasted through my pain suppression even. I pressed every panic button I had there. Yeah, so what I wanted to talk about mostly today, so if I want to model human disease in a mouse, I need to put in, well, let's talk about cancer specifically, because that's what I work with. So if I want to model human cancer in a mouse, I need to give the mouse human cancer cells and allow those cells to grow. Dude, so weird. No, can't see. So these are mice. If we put a different cell into them, a human cell or a goat cell or a ostrich cell, any type of cell, the mouse's own immune system is going to recognize that cell as foreign and just kill them, just attack the cells so that the tumor won't grow, basically. Oh my lordy, we are getting... I got hit by that. We got this guy slept back here. I'm a little bit sick too. COVID negative, but damn, this thing's been lingering. So what I work with are these mice. Oh, please don't. Shh. Are these mice that have... Oh, I'm gonna get hit. Oh no. Oh my, it's falling. The wheels are coming off. I can't heal my tank. He's in Africa. Okay. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. All is well. Oh, shit. What are we doing? Bonk. Okay, we're pulling back. We're pulling back. That's all we're doing. No need to panic. Just pulling back here. Shrapnel blast right at our faces. No, that's not hitting us, but... Okay. For the mice that I use, and honestly, I get it, right? Like, you know, I'm not heartless. I understand the ethical questions about using, you know, animals for science. And it's, you know, it's not a feels good. It's not like I enjoy going into work knowing that, you know, I'm giving animals cancer. Like, yeah, it sucks. There's a part of that that sucks. But I've also worked in human cancer, like a human cancer unit, children's cancer no less, for like 4 years during my undergrad. So I have this like other side of me that knows, you know, we gotta do. Guys, let's massive spell that. We gotta do what we can to just help people, kids, man, like kids with cancer. Oh. So there is that part of me that, you know, that's how I rationalize it to myself. I would kill all of the mice in the world if it saved one child. That's the way I look at it. So, anyway, you could have different opinion. I don't mean to get like down that path. Anyway, I get it. End of the story. End of the fact is, I get it. We're on the same page there. Please no. Oh my. I don't trust this guy. I don't trust this man's making me nervous. Okay, I have one more trick up my sleeve. We're gonna give him this. Facing all these flame tongues at us. Okay. This is kind of hard to get like coherent sentences out of my mouth. I think it gets easier after this, right? The rest of the dungeon's easy. Okay. Okay. Okay, so, in order to get human cancer cells into a mouse, I work with leukemia. Everyone just die right there. So in order to get leukemia cells into a mouse, I have to genetically modify them. If I just put human cells into these mice as is, just normal mice, their immune cells will kill the cancer cells, and the cancer will never, you know, it'll never develop. And so I can't test my therapies, right? So we genetically engineer them. We knock out a gene in their immune system. This gene is responsible for making healthy B and T cells. We just use this knockout mice techniques. These mice are born without this gene, so they cannot make proper B and T cells. That means we call that immunocompromised. There's immunocompromised people. You know, if you get chemotherapy, let's say you have cancer and you get chemotherapy, chemotherapy kills all fast-growing cells. It kills your immune system cells, your B and T cells. And so we call you immunocompromised. Same thing. These mice are basically, well, they're immunocompromised, so they have no B or T cells. And they're fine. They live like normal. We just have to keep them basically in a bubble, right? If they get an infection of any kind, they don't have the defenses to fight the infection. So you just keep them sterile, keep them safe, keep all their food sterile. You filter their air, and they can live like normal functioning mice, happy mice, they have, you know, their own babies. Please. I was thinking this fight would be easy. Good heal, brother. Okay. So, oh, the boss is still at full health. I'm at not full mana. I might have to stop casting spells for a second. Yeah, so we get these skid mice. Severe. Wait. Gosh, why am I blanking on what skid means now all of a sudden? That's why you should always do prep, I guess, before you try to make episodes. But oh my, he's seeded. Immunodeficient. Severe. Something immunodeficient. I can't remember the C. Anyway, doesn't really matter. These are immunodeficient mice. They don't have B and T cells, so that means I can put human cells into them, and their immune system can't do anything. They, you know, they have no way to kill the cells, so the cancer will grow like a normal cancer would, and then I can model. You know, I use my I can model my therapy basically. But they have knockout mice for a lot of different diseases. To model a lot of different human diseases. I might record this episode, re-record this episode, because this is oh, I don't have. I like this kind of fiasco mayhem, but also I haven't made a single coherent sentence. Okay, so I come up with a new therapy, cancer. And I think it works. I look, I go. I'm trying to save my mana so hard. Like, I have 16% mana here, guys. I've got my sights on you. No. I have 3% mana, guys. Oh wait, we have pet. We have this thing. I don't know where you are. Oh, I don't have that ability. Okay. I've got my sights on you. Oh, I have this. Give me mana. Oh, he's not dotted. Oh no. I have to get my own mana back here. Please no. Is the boss coming down soon? FPI, I've been saving it for the boss, but hell, maybe we need it on this trash. Okay. Some smite action. We have 6% mana. I've got my sights on you. Ooh. He's got to be getting. Wow, that fire touched me. No, the fire tickled my feet. We're okay here. Don't die. You never die here. You never die here. You never die. Okay. You still never die. God. Oh my, please no. No! Alright. I definitely shouldn't have got hit by fire. Well, shit. Well, shit. We got this. We definitely do got this. Yeah, this gives me a little more time to gain my thoughts. This guy's not releasing, though. Okay. I don't know where the hell I even left off. I don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah, okay. So let's say I come up with a new cancer therapy. I don't know if I can res this guy, or... He's dead right there. I'm so confused. Oh, I got a drink. That's like a... Who dares challenge me? Don't die. Oh my. We're gonna have to be real careful with mana again. I'm at 50% just starting the fight. Here, let's throw this thing on there. How much mana is this getting me? Oh. Give me some mana. I'll have Pet here in a second too. Picking up all these little mana balls as well is really important. Okay. If I come up with a new cancer cure, I synthesize it. You have to make the thing. I purify it. Have to make sure it's really pure. I have to do all the characterization. Prove I've made what I think I've made. There's a ton of stuff. So this is months, you know, this is months. 3, 4, 5 months maybe. To make and purify and then characterize a new cancer therapy. Maybe longer than that. It's longer than that if you've taken the time of like coming up with the idea. Sometimes coming up with an idea takes years, you know. So, but let's say you already have an idea and you just need to make, purify, and characterize it. Then I would say you're on the order of a few months in a lab setting, not at like an industry setting. Just if you're in a academic lab, you know, a few months. So then you have this purified stuff. It's usually like a white powder probably. With mine though, I work with antibodies, so it's actually in, it's not a solid, it's in a liquid. Dissolved in just like a buffer. But you get this new therapy. Okay, now we need to test it. So, okay, we need a model. All models are wrong. Some models are useful. There's no way the FDA, like people, would never agree to just putting random stuff into their bodies. You know, some people get pretty desperate when they have cancer, but it's just not a good idea to just start putting random lab materials into humans without testing them at all. You know, that's why we have our whole clinical trials process. First thing you have to do, test it in vitro, is what we call it. So in cells. Test it in vitro. That's out of a living organism. So cells are living, but that's not an organism, right? They're just single cell. It's a single cell model. So you take the cancer cells, and there's data banks. Oh no, not like this. There's data banks of, I don't know why. There's data banks of all sorts of different cancer cells that you can just buy. They're kind of expensive. It's like $1,200 for a single vial, but you can grow that vial into perpetuity for forever. You can grow that vial forever. So you just buy one vial and that'll last your lab decades, right? If you store them properly. All these cells are frozen in liquid nitrogen, very, very cold. And you can just culture them, you can thaw them, they'll, you know, there's some recovery time, but they'll start growing like normal. It's like frozen in time. They're frozen in time, and they remember how to grow as soon as they're thawed, and they just continue to grow. So, in theory, you can get them, you can keep them growing forever. So, oh shoot. Oh my, this is getting hit by volcanics, just getting chain hit. Please not me. Ah, it is. Okay, so we order these cells, and usually, you know what cancer you're trying to cure. All cancers are different. We had a whole episode on that, so one therapy may work very well for this cancer, won't work very well for a different kind of cancer. For example, like my leukemia cells, I have therapies that work very well for them. You know, rituximab, different antibodies. These antibodies are going to do nothing for pancreatic cancer. You know, nothing. So every cancer is different. Every cancer needs its own approach, its own medicines. You have to pick a specific cancer to test, and that's one of the reasons why cancer is so hard to cure, right? Because every cancer, it's like curing infinity diseases. There's a whole episode on that. Okay, we can't go down that rabbit hole. We gotta stick with what I'm talking about now. So, this guy's dead. Oh my. Okay. We time this? No, we don't time. I gotta. Oh, he released. Okay. I don't even have my trinket on somebody, dude. I want mastery. I want mastery, I said. It's good. Okay. So, where's this Thunderbolt at? Ugh. You have to wait for people to get tickled by fire again. You have to wait for people to get below 35% before you can use your life. So it's a little weird. You play this little dance where you like, oh, he died of fire again. I just accidentally tab targeted that. Luckily I didn't pull everything. Alright, the healer's pulling. Excuse me. This is chaos. This is just sheer chaos. I'm supposed to be filming an episode here. Might just yes. Should I just shove a rapture here? No one's taking damn, so I gotta save. A pinch. Pinch the rapture. Nice, pays off. No one took damn. Let's go, boys. Insane. We're insane. Okay. I feel a re-record coming in here. Things like frenzied regen too. They kind of mess up your powered life as well. Procs a frenzied regen right as you go to click your life, and now they're not below 35 anymore. You know, it's kind of just a chaotic mess. Okay, anyway. Like I come up with a therapy, I test it in cells, I order some cells. Let's say I order some leukemia cells from ATCC. You can go to that website, atcc.org. Just go check it out. Go look at how much cells cost, and you can read all about them. There's no patient identifying information, obviously, but you get some basics, you know. You get like basic information, like male. You get the type of, or gender, sorry. You get the type of, cancer, obviously. You know what you're buying, yada yada. Nice. Got all those shields out. I'm a frickin' baller priest. The best standing in battle on purpose. Don't die, brother. What are you even dying to? Okay, he healed himself, so I didn't use my powered life there. My family's asking me where I'm at. This might be the only take. We might just have to shove this version as the only take. Not gonna time this key, unfortunately. Oh. Fat fingering multiple buttons here. Oh no, dude, that trap right there is insane. Okay. So glad that spear wasn't at me because I was not paying attention at all. Okay, so then I test it in cells and just petri dishes. I do a bunch of different experiments, figure out, oh yeah, you know what? This is working. No. It's working, so let's think about a model. You know, what better model can we come up with? Cells are okay for proof of concept type stuff. We need something else though. Where's that spear? We need something a little closer to the real thing, if possible. So that real thing is then, you know, usually we need an organism. So here's what we're looking at. Here's what we're considering. That's right at me, isn't it? I can't see it. Oh my, I'm lucky. Someone fall off? Someone fell off. I gotta run through the shit again. Oh no. He's dead. I gotta PS him. Oof. I'm dead. Okay. Everything's fine here. I've never been more safe, honestly. Oh, I thought that was on me. It's not. Oh no, please don't die. I'm gonna thing me here. Ears coming right at my face. Ah! Easy. Easiest key of my life. I don't think we timed it though. No, we didn't time it. Okay, closing thoughts. Then I have to go eat some turkey. Yeah, so when you're designing an organism experiment, I'll call it an organism experiment because it's like it takes away the animalness of it. A mouse experiment or a fish. What you're trying to decide is, how we use we use mice or fish because we can get a large number. We can get a large N, right? Our N is large, means we can test a lot of different subjects because we need a lot of different treatment groups. We need a control group that doesn't get any treatment, so we know what happens if we do nothing. This is how fast the disease takes over, and if we don't treat it at all, this is what we're looking at. So then we compare our treatment groups to that, and you need a bunch of different mice in each treatment group to give you reliable data, so you can run statistics and say, hey, this group did perform better than this group. That's the whole thing. So you need a certain amount, you need an N, you need a number of mice that allows you to calculate those statistics so you can say scientifically and specifically, yes, there is a significant difference between these treatment groups. And mice and fish allow you to get large N's, large numbers per group. You can calculate statistics. That's one of the reasons why they're used as a good model. Now again, a human is not a mouse. A human is not a fish. Their systems are different, but it's just a model. It's going to at least we're in a living system. We can put our drug in there. We know that the mice can at least survive the dose that we're giving them, and it's not causing organ failure or just random side effects that we wouldn't expect. We can rule all of that out by putting it into an organism. And so then you do a bunch of animal experiments, usually for years, and you really show the efficacy. You say, look, this drug works so well. Drug works really, really well. We need to test it in humans. Like, it's ready to be tested in humans. So then you move into clinical trials. And they're expensive. Not anyone can just do a clinical trial, but what you're looking at is these are the first time this therapy is getting into an actual human being. So it's been tested in a bunch of cells, it's been tested in a bunch of animals. It looks very effective. Is it safe in humans? So when we go into clinical trials, clinical trial phase 1, mostly what we're looking at, we're not even looking at does it cure the disease. We're looking at, is it safe? We're going to put it into people for the first time. Are the people safe? Like, do they have drastic side effects that we weren't expecting? Are they running into some complications? Excuse me. That's mostly what people are looking at. And the N, the number of patients in that first clinical trial is usually pretty small, because they're really worried about just safety. Yeah, it'd be nice to see some efficacy, right, for these people, for these patients. These are real people now that have disease. It'd be nice if it worked. But that's, in a phase 1, we're mostly concerned with safety. If you get into phase 2, usually you can combine phase 1 and phase 2, but there's distinctions. A phase 2, now we're looking at efficacy, and we usually get a larger group, bigger N. We know it's safe at this point, but doesn't work. So now we're testing if it works. Again, there's this sort of a weird moral dilemma that I have, that even in human clinical trials, you can think of it like an animal experiment, in that you need an untreated control group. You need a control group to compare the therapy to, because you don't know if the people just got better on their own, or you just don't know. So you have to have a group of people that sign up for this clinical trial that don't get a treatment, and that has to be randomized, right? You can't cherry pick. In order for it to be good science, that has to be randomized, and it's usually double blind, meaning the patients don't know and the scientists or the doctors don't know. So the scientists will give the physicians, like, they're all labeled drug probably, right? And then, but a few of them are just placebo, but only the scientists know which one's placebo. And then the doctor doesn't know, the patient doesn't know. And so they're going to do everything the same, thinking that the patient's got the drug. They'll do everything the same, all the same, if you have to do preparation, all the same drug preparation, all the same after preparation, and you just kind of monitor the disease progression. The scientists will then get all that data without any patient information. They just get the raw data, and they can compare, my therapy versus the placebo versus the sugar pill, basically. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. When I first heard about that, I had huge problems with that, right? Like, we're just writing people off. These are real people with disease, and we're giving them a sugar pill. Makes no sense, right? But there is another aspect to it where in a clinical trial, these are not new diagnoses. These are patients who have tried all of the current standard cares of therapy, and it has failed. So now they're kind of on their last leg. You know, they're on their last hope. They're looking for a miracle type thing. That's the situation people are in when they're on a clinical trial. Everything else has failed. They need just to try something new. So, you know, and the patients are made aware of everything involved, and so they sign off on it. You know, they're aware. It's not like anyone's getting duped. It's just in order to perform an accurate experiment, you have to have an uncontrolled control group, right? Sucks. Basically, it just sucks. Cancer sucks. The things we have to do to treat it sucks, but it is what it is. Um, it's the best we have. It's the best we know. You know, in our current in 2022, we're doing the best we can. It's the best method that we have to test new therapies. Maybe there's something better that we haven't thought of yet, but as it stands, this is what we do, and in the end, it's just to help people. At least that's why I do it. Yeah, I don't know how. That was the most random. I can only do that one take, so that is the episode. I don't know what. Take what you want from that episode. I don't even think we timed to the key, but cannon. The damn cannon just carried here in deeps. Dang. But yeah. Okay. It was supposed to be about knockout mice, and somehow it got into modeling. But let's just call it modeling, you know? Scientific modeling, if you come up with a therapy, we have to model in cells, an organism, and then humans for treating human disease. Okay, with that, happy Turkey Day. Everyone enjoy some turkey. I'm gonna go enjoy some turkey. That's one take, baby. I don't know what that episode was, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And we'll be back as I come up with ideas to talk about. We'll be making new episodes. And Dragonflight launches. So I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably just do like heroic dungeons for a bit, or like mythic zeros. We'll figure something out. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Drop a follow, and I'll see you next time.